When the world was forged, magic ran amok, flowing through everything that existed in a great flood, gouging out valleys and mountains alike. Thunderous amounts of water swirling in the sky and deep pits of fire and magma boiling over. This beautiful calamity of creation and desolation would settle, the magic having been stewed into every grain of sand and every green leaf, into every breath of air and every crackling ember of this world. The remaining magic spilled across the heavens, changing the stars and the sun and the sky itself. But there was still too much magic for the planet herself to hold. She knew her limits. She pushed the power of life into the elements that made her, into the ideas of her mind and the desires of her heart. Titans were born, matter given life, souls, emotions, giant by giant standards and strong by divine standards. The power that flowed from them like honey from the comb would forever change Thrish. The greatest and the least of these titans was Primus Rex, which in your language is First King. He was a mighty worm, born of the ideas of leadership and procreation. His first desire, nay, his first thought, was to become a father. What is a king without a people to support? His first brood would be with Fortis Mater, 50 sons and 50 daughters, but to his dismay, the children were not a people. They were beasts. They were wild and without sapient thought, and so he boasted for what they were and wept for what they might have been. His second brood was with Sapiens Mater, another 100. These were hatched with the intellect needed to govern and use the materials of the living, breathing planet, but they failed to match their kin's raw power. So Primus Rex boasted of what they were and mourned for what they could never be. The old brood were wroth at their weaker, younger kin, and the new brood were jealous of the strength of their elders. They destroyed each other. Primus Rex would grieve until the end of his days. The water of his tears would forever salt the oceans, but his longing for fatherhood would still remain. Fortis and Sapiens bonded over the loss of their children, gathered blood of the battlefield, and begged Death and the god of stories to return life to an egg, just one, that Primus would not consume himself in his heartache. The Reaper pulled back his grip on the clay, washing with it the stench of death. The god brought forth a soul filled with love, and with it turned the mud to life. The mothers rejoiced, and gave the living egg to Primus, and new joy flooded his eyes and his heart. He named the child Steranthraxis. But the gifts of the heavens were only beginning. There were then 99 of his children were born, 49 more sons and 50 more daughters. All new souls they were. Primus loved them for who they were, and boasted to his eldest son of all that he and his siblings would become.